It's rare that we will need to do any 3D drafting in AutoCAD Electrical, but if we do, there is the opportunity to use 3D object snaps. Again, these are down here. So if I switch them on, like so, 3D object snap on the command line, right click, and you can see that we've got some 3D object snaps, vertex, midpoint on edge, center of face, and so on. If I go to settings, you'll notice I can switch those on and off. So we've got vertex, center of face. What I'm going to do is switch on midpoint on edge as well. I'll click on OK now, and you'll notice that 3D object snap is on the status bar. Now I'm going to quickly draw a rectangle. That's up here on the draw panel. It's right here. There's the rectangle command. Come into the drawing area, click to specify a corner point, and I'm just going to drag that like so, and I'm going to make that rectangle say 4, and then press the tab by 2, like that. So you're just inputting and tabbing between the two values in the boxes and press enter. There's my small rectangle. Now what I need to do is change the view of that and go to what they call an isometric view to show you the 3D settings for this. Now if I go over here to the navigation bar and click on View Cube like that, it gives me the view cube, and I can click on a corner of the cube, and it then shows me an isometric view. Can you see how the cube rotates? And now my rectangle is in isometric. Now you probably wouldn't do this in electrical because a lot of the time things like schematics, panel views and so on, they tend to be flat 2D drawings. But if you did need 3D, this is a useful setting to know. Now I'm going to extrude that rectangle to make it into a 3D solid. So I'll just type the word extrude, because I'm not actually in any 3D environment at the moment. I'm just in a flat 2D environment. So I'm going to type the commands. So there's extrude there. I'll click on extrude on the menu. And once I do that, it takes a few seconds. You'll see in the bottom left corner, it's loading the modeler DLLs. It's loading my 3D modeling settings. I can select the rectangle using the pick box and press enter to confirm that selection. Now when I do that, as I move up, can you see I'm extruding it into a 3D solid? I'm making it into a rectangular solid. So the height of that extrusion, I'll say 2 and press enter. So I've made it 2 by 2 there, and it's 4 long along the length. So there is my rectangular 3D solid. Here's the issue. It's now a 3D solid. If I hold down Shift and press down on the wheel of the mouse, I can orbit, and you can see, look, that is actually a 3D solid. And then I release Shift and release the mouse, and I can go back to my view. If I want to draw a line, so I'll just right click, recent input, remember, line is still there, and I want to draw a line, let's say from that midpoint there. It's not a midpoint snap anymore, is it? It's a midpoint on a face. So that 3D object snap that I set, if I hover there, 3D midpoint, can you see that snap? And click, and then I come this way, hover again, 3D midpoint, click, and enter to finish. The reason you have 3D object snaps is they are different. They're not a midpoint. If I went to the top view here on the view cube, I'll just rotate that around so it's in the right orientation. That is a 2D line drawn on the top face of a 3D solid. But looking at it in the top plan view, you wouldn't know that, would you? That's why you need 3D object snaps to work in the 3D environment. Now, I'm not saying that you would work in 3D, but if you do, the snaps are there to be used.